repeat everything.
Faces today, yes, literally.
Can't repeat that.
If it's easy.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
All right. The word was wow from your partner. What is your word?
Well, it could have been very simple. It could have been ow. Just the first W could have been off if it wasn't right. That's how close success and failure are. They're just millimeters apart. It's wow or ow. And so you're constantly, when you're trying to be innovative and really audience-centric, you're always on the edge. You always have to take chances. You take no chances, you will fail. So you have to really be at the cutting edge, whether it's food, whether it's seating, whether it's lighting, whether it's sound amplification, whether it's parking, whether it's clothing, merchandise, whatever it is. You have to think there's some risk got to be built in or there'll be no reward. So you're constantly being able to balance those elements. And that's the trick of leadership, is to make sure that people are aligned in the group that has to execute so that they're willing to not be risk averse. They're willing to create some variety, not all certainty.
When the words "what if" were whispered into your ear,
Yes.
and now we're here, is this what you imagined?
I didn't imagine at the end of the whole journey, which will be almost 10 years, I'm spending 10 years of my life to get to it. We're about 8 in or something like that. And so the length of the journey, I thought it'd be like a long sprint. Instead, it became an enduring marathon, and along the way, there are adversaries and there are allies, and they switch around. Sometimes the adversaries look like allies, sometimes the allies look like adversaries. But that's really the challenge of leadership, is to be able to collate everything and keep your eye on the prize. I used to say it this way: we had a dream, we gave it a time limit, and that's what we called the goal, and we kept the dream as the inspiration, and the goal is our perspiration. We had to do those two things and balance them constantly, and we had to wring out from everybody the very best of the best. And that's a challenge, because everybody comes to the party a little different.
And this is home for you guys now, home for San Francisco, but for the Warriors and the team. How does a facility like this, where they're all in one place, really help you guys on the court eventually and try and get back to winning championships like you're used to?
Well, if it ain't on the stage, it ain't on the page. It doesn't happen for newspapers, magazines, television. You got to put it out there. You got to execute out there. But execute today in location-based entertainment. I've been in it all my life, obviously. When Dick Clark Company was the chairman, and I built the Metreon Theater here 20 years ago, and all the theaters around the country. I built all the baseball parks in the stadium in Los Angeles. This is not my first rodeo. This wasn't like, what do I have to do? I really knew. But what I didn't know was the difficulty of executing in San Francisco, the challenge of executing in San Francisco, the sophisticated nature of the market. I don't mean just because they were rich or middle level or anything, just because it was so diverse. And I didn't realize that during a marathon, different things happen. There are little sprints, there are people throwing things at you, there's all kinds of stuff going on, and you're not alone. And so the idea of trying to be a little bit like Bulgarian jugglers, 12 Bulgarian jugglers landing on 12 Bulgarian jugglers perfectly. They don't. And you have to move them around, you have to be patient, and you have to be impatient. So when you put those qualities together and build an organization, which we did, that could sing the tune together and recognize that we were going to be an audience company. We were audience-centric. We had to aim for here, the heart, not the wallet. We weren't transaction-oriented, we had to be heart-oriented. The reason why? They have to come back time and time again. They have to tell our story, the public, how much fun it was, how enjoyable it was, how good the performance was, how the parking, the food, the clothing, the merchandise, the hospitality. And any one of those things can unseat you, because if you think about what an audience has to do, you have to make a commitment a few days in advance, go 51 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes to the venue, weather conditions, get into the venue, find their seat, get for the game, and do the whole thing when they leave. And they have to come back again and again. You can't get a new audience every week. So you have to have a relationship capital, not a transactional capital, with your audience. And that's what we tried to build. The organization, the staff, all of it, we look at it as this is a relationship business, and our relationship with our artists, our players, they are all part of it. And it takes some patience sometimes, a lot of patience.
Peter, you have so many good quotes. What's your motto for the young 2019, 2021?
So I'm motto, just win, baby.
How do you measure this venue versus some of the, you're involved with the Dodgers and other things you've done? I mean, where do you put Chase Center versus everything else?
This is magnificent. This is a pinnacle. This is, this. If you look at just the accomplishment of getting it done. I used to say this about all the movies I made. I ran gigantic movie companies and made huge movies. Getting it done alone, you should get the Academy Award and the medal. Good or bad is second. Just getting it done. And this is really a getting it done experience. I mean, just all the elements, the coalescing of all the elements to get the accomplishment done. Then doing it with style and dignity and elegance and elan and the ability for it to be a big, bright and shiny. But this is what I said. This is the thing that this is. It's a modern day campfire. Think about everybody who's so digitally connected in the world, really not connected at all. They don't see the person, they don't talk to the person. I see my kids at the table. Who are you texting? They're texting each other at the table. This is a modern day campfire. So that all these audiences who are so different can see each other crying, laughing, different ethnicities, different religions, different backgrounds, different economic situations. That's the importance of this. It's not the brick and mortar. It's not the click and mortar. It's the oohs and ahs, not the zeros and ones. They're going to make the difference. And that's why I'm so excited about a venture like this.
All right, guys, we'll bring Rick here because the sunlight.
I was in the shade up there.
I know, you were going good.
It was very comfortable on this.
Mic
going
check,
good.
1, 2, 3.
Rolling.
All right, what's a question we haven't asked you?
How the Warriors are going to do this year?
How are the Warriors going to do this year?
I can't answer that question. Come on.
I've heard wow, you have wow. There's a lot of different words that do you have a word or a phrase that describes this place to you?
Well, memories I think most people stole from me because these things, that's what these things are. If I asked 9 out of 10 people, what was the first concert that you ever saw? They could tell me where they were and what artist they saw perform. That was a lifetime memory. And that's what this thing is. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't start going to Seattle Supersonics games as a kid with my dad at the Seattle Center Coliseum. That set the course of my entire life. So these things are about creating memories, family memories, generational memories. And to me, that's the most important function of what Chase Center will be to the Bay Area.
I also saw the big word home. This is your home. This is San Francisco's new home. What does the word home mean to you?
Well, it means something very special to our organization because it's unheard of today to create an arena like this that not only stages events but also is home to your entire business operation, is your practice facility, is your arena staff facility. So everyone who's associated with the Warriors comes to work here every day, Steph Curry to me. Mm-hmm. And for us, that's been a real magical formula over the last 5 years. We think it's added to the success that the team has had, and recreating that here is incredibly expensive, but we think worthwhile. So home is home to everyone who calls the Warriors their employer.
How does a facility like this translate to wins on the court and ultimately championships?
That's why we built it. Mm-hmm. So, when I first arrived here 8 years ago, Joe and Peter's vision was that we needed a facility, not just to serve better food or not just to have a better locker room for our players, but to set the financial foundation for us to be able to compete for championships as far into the future as we can see. So it gives us those tools. It gives us the opportunity, if we're smart, to compete for championships. And look at where we are. Our system is that every player at some point in his career has the opportunity to choose where he wants to go play. And a combination of where we live, a combination of the companies that are based here, and the team success and facilities, to us, we like our chances in terms of competing for player talent in the future.
It came across to me that you guys took into account the fan experience and what people are going to walk away with here. Why is, from everything from the seating to the food, all these things, transportation, how is the fan really at the forefront of what you guys thought about?
We're fan-centric, right? You just described it. Unlike where we played before, where people thought that the person who helped you park your car, or scanned your ticket, or served you food worked for the Warriors. None of those people work for the Warriors. Here we have the opportunity and the responsibility for everything that happens on these 11 acres. So if there's a piece of paper on the ground, if the restroom isn't clean, it's our fault, but it's also our opportunity to really upgrade and treat fans, whether they're fans of the Warriors or whether they're coming to a concert, in a way that they would not expect, in a way that make them want to come back and see another show or another game.
Rick, can you tell us, at one point the arena was scheduled to be on the other side, around the corner, and ended up here. Any difference in concept between that original model and what ended up getting devised here?
Actually, our original architect, Craig Dykers, was here today, and we were talking about that. So one of the features at the Piers 3032 site was that we weren't going to have an upper bowl in one end of the court. Instead, it was going to be a big window looking out on the Bay Bridge. Well, if you look at the design today, we still have that end of the arena that has no upper bowl. We don't have a window looking at the Bay Bridge, but that part of the design was something that I think lived on. I think the kind of circular nature of the building itself lived on, and the idea of that site also was to be a new gathering place for people in the Bay Area, and that's definitely what this turned out to be.
Hey Rick, when will the practice facility be done, and when will Warriors players actually start coming in?
Well, it's 99% done now. A few players have had the opportunity to come and check it out. Zaza Pachulia, our newest employee, was checking it out this morning. But the players don't have to be here until training camp, so we still have a couple weeks probably before we see the majority of the players.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Okay, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.
No worries.
Get to work.
Screen.
Are requesting a rate hike. That will be adjudicated and determined and assessed by the Public Utilities Commission. But it's important for folks to know that is separate and above the bankruptcy. The bankruptcy is a whole other set of circumstances that have to be addressed and will continue to be addressed. And remember, has to be finalized by June of 2020. And that's the deadline we've given pursuant to our bill that provides a pathway for them to create a wildfire fund that will ultimately aid in that effort.
Well, listening to the boat fire, I don't think you've made any public comment yet
On what?
On the fire on the boat.
Tragic. I was down. I happened coincidentally to be down in the area yesterday morning in the Santa Barbara Ventura area. It's devastating, and it's appropriate. Senator Feinstein and others have made this point that we looked at what the hell's going on and why there wasn't any route escape for these individuals. I mean, it's just tragic beyond words, and for family members, it's beyond horrific. At a time when we had another shooting and these devastating hurricanes, it's just a reminder of what Peter Guber was saying up there. It's all about moments, and you should cherish your moments. All of us should cherish our moments.
All right, thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Gavin.
Thanks, everyone.